All right, so let's consider the sort of solutions that we can get when we're dealing with a system. So when we're solving any system of equation, one of three things is going to happen. We can have exactly one solution. When we're talking about lines, that happens when we have a single point of intersection. Right? Any system that has at least one solution, we call that a consistent system. The second thing that can happen is that we can have an infinite number of solutions. Now that happens when we're talking about lines. That happens when we have a system that is called collinear. Collinear system means that we're basically looking at the same line. We might be dealing with a different situation, but when we go and graph these things, they actually lie on the exact same line. So anything on that line is a solution to the system. Now that thing is consistent. So if we have an infinite number of solutions, we have a collinear system. It's consistent, but it's also called dependent. So there's a consistent dependent system. Any system that isn't dependent is called independent, which makes good sense. The third thing that can happen is that we can have no solution. When we're talking about lines, what happens? They're parallel. This means they're parallel. So when we go and graph those two equations, they will be parallel lines. Such a system is called inconsistent. Let's see examples of what those look like. So example 4 is a consistent independent system. What was that? We graphed that already. This thing right here. This is what it looks like to have exactly one solution. Now let's see what a consistent but dependent system looks like. Got some space here for you to graph. I'm going to graph these using Desmos. Now in order to do that, you're going to want to solve this thing, put this in slope-intercept form. Number 2, 1 is already in slope-intercept form. I encourage you to put equation number 2 in slope-intercept form and inspect it and see what happens. Okay, so I have actually just gone ahead and graphed that system in Desmos. I've put the first equation in as this orange solid line. The second equation is the black dashed line, and you will notice they are actually the same line. So when I graph this system, I get the same line. So any point on this line is going to be a solution to the system. Finally, here are inconsistent and independent system parallel lines. Parallel lines form such a system. So when you graph them, what you're going to get is something that looks like this graphic here. Two parallel lines. They will never intersect. There's no solution to this system.